If you're a fan of that chewy mochi texture and sweet rice fragrance, then you're gonna love this super easy Shiratama Dango recipe. These simple rice dumplings can be served in so many ways, but I'm going to show you how to make them into an easy dessert with just a few ingredients. For a printable version of this recipe, visit my website, just Google Shiratama Dango _dachi to find me. First, we're gonna make a dark brown sugar syrup we call Kuromitsu, so grab a small pan and add 25 grams of dark brown sugar, 25 grams of white sugar, and 60 milliliters of water. Give it a mix, then set the heat to medium. We just want to keep mixing and try to break up those lumps of brown sugar. Typically, the syrup is made with Okinawan sugar called kokuto or kurosato, but muscovado works just fine. You might wonder why I add white sugar to a dark brown sugar syrup, but I find it can be a bit bitter without white sugar. You can play around with the ratios to suit your taste. Once the sugar has melted and the mixture is gently bubbling, you can stop stirring and just wait for it to thicken. Rather than mixing, swirl the pan occasionally to help heat it more evenly. This Kuromitsu is perfect for all kinds of Japanese desserts like warabi mochi or anmitsu. You can even use it for drinks or on an ice cream. It's so good. You need to be careful not to let it thicken too much in the pan because when it cools, it's gonna continue to thicken. Once it looks like this, you can take off the heat and leave it to cool. Next, we're gonna make the dango. Grab a mixing bowl and add 100 grams of shiratamako. That's a coarse glutinous rice flour used especially for Shiratama Dango. I'll give a quick whisk with chopsticks to get some air in there. Next, I've measured out 90 milliliters of cold water and I'm going to start by adding half of it. Mix it thoroughly, then keep adding the water little by little, mixing between each addition. We're aiming for a clumpy texture that looks a bit like scrambled eggs. It's important to add the water a little at a time to avoid adding too much. It's really easy to add too much and then it becomes too soft to shape. If you accidentally add too much water, you can fix it by adding more shiratamako or mochiko, but it's not ideal. Shiratamako has a really nice soft and bouncy texture, but if you can't find it, you can use 90 grams of mochiko with 10 grams of potato starch instead. The starch helps make dango a bit softer, so the end result is more like shiratamako. Once there's no more dry flour, use your hands to press it into a bowl. Try kneading it first, and if it seems a bit crumbly, you can add a little more water. If it doesn't crumble, then you're good. 90 milliliters of water is generally how much I use for this recipe, but in winter when it's dry, I might need more. And in Japan's humid summer, I might need less. You can tell by the feel of the dough. In Japanese, we'll say that it should have the texture of an earlobe. Knead the dough in the bowl or in your hands. This is to help the moisture distribute more evenly. If it tends to crack or break, you might need a little more water. I like to spray my hands with water to help incorporate a little more moisture without overdoing it. Once it's done, it should look something like this. At this point, start boiling a pot of water. So now I'm going to cut the dough in two and roll it into cylinders. This recipe makes 20, so I'll just roughly cut 10 from each roll. You can eyeball this, no need to measure exactly. Next, I've prepared a container with a sheet of baking paper. This is just to stop them from sticking to the container. Roll each piece into a bowl, then press the center like this to make a dent. Although dango are usually round, Shiratama Dango often have dents like this. I don't know the exact reason why, but when you serve them with syrup, this dent catches it and stops it from sliding off. That's a good enough reason for me. Don't worry if your dango are a little cracked after shaping them, they will smooth out while they cook. Okay, our water is at a rolling boil, so carefully place the dango in the pot. They will sink to the bottom, so use chopsticks to gently nudge them and stop them from sticking to the bottom. It's important that the water is bubbling vigorously to help the dango move around the pot, otherwise they're just gonna sit at the bottom of the pot and get stuck. look. The nice thing about Shiratama Dango is the fact that they're basically a blank canvas. They're often served with other desserts like in a sweet red bean soup called zenzai, or with amitsu, which is basically a fruit salad with content jelly and red beans. But because Shiratama Dango are unsweetened, you could even use them in savory dishes such as soups and hot pots. They cook pretty quickly, a few minutes or so. You know when they're almost ready because they'll start floating at the top of the water. Once they're floating, set a timer for 1 minute and grab a bowl of ice water. Use a mesh strainer to scoop them out and transfer them to the ice water bath. This just stops the cooking process and quickly cools them down, ready for eating. It also stops them from drying out, so if you're not eating them straight away, just leave them in there and pop the bowl in the fridge for later. You should eat them the day they're made though. While they cool down, I'm just gonna prepare some Kinako powder. This is made from roasted soybeans and has a nice nutty flavor. You can sprinkle it as it is, but I like to mix it with an equal amount of sugar and a pinch of salt. Shiratama Dango is unsweetened, so it's a nice addition. I'm making extra for future dishes, but this recipe makes about 3-4 portions, so I'd say about half tablespoon of Kinako and half tablespoon of sugar will make plenty. Finally, we can serve up. So I've got my Shiratama Dango here, and I'm just gonna pour the cold syrup and sprinkle my Kinako mixture over the top. And that's it. Simple Shiratama Dango with Kuromitsu and Kinako, the perfect no-fuss Japanese dessert. Want even more delicious recipes? Grab my free cookbook from the link in the description. Okay, let's go over the ingredients one more time. And if you're ready to cook, grab the written instructions by clicking the full recipe box with a picture that's about to pop up on your screen. Here we go, the link to the full recipe is on the screen for you now, and if you want to watch more similar videos, don't miss my Japanese sweet playlist popping up on your screen as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.